In Buddhism, there is no single, all-powerful, omniscient creator God.
Buddhism is not just a religion, but it's more of a philosophy, a part, a way of life.
It originated in what we now call India, but it spread very quickly, and it spread all throughout Asia. It encourages a sort of veneration for the founder, namely the Buddha, the collection of teachings that he disseminated to his disciples, which is called the Dharma, and the monastic community that he founded that was modeled after his form of moderate ascetic lifestyle known as the Sangha. These are called the three jewels of Buddhism.
Buddha was never a god. He never claimed to be one. He was just a man born in a royal family, but he realized that wealth and luxury do not guarantee happiness. He then abandoned to royal life and took up a spiritual quest.
When he lived out outside the palace where he lived, and he saw all like poor and hungry people out there. So all he know, he say, wow, I live here. Inside, I don't even know how out there people suffering.
This young man who was known as Siddhartha became disenchanted with the world and renounced his sort of noble lifestyle. He left behind a wife and a small child. After a night of meditating, it is said that he became awakened or enlightened, discovered sort of secrets to existence, in particular, the reasons why there is suffering in the world, and more importantly, how to escape that suffering, how to become liberated from the kinds of physical, emotional, and mental dis-ease that everyone experiences at one point or another.
He teaching about the noble truth, the four noble truths. So it's about suffering, the one, and the two is cause of suffering, and the way to practice to relieve the suffering. And number four is to enlightenment, wisdom or something.
The middle path is a metaphor for the Dharma, which is to say the Buddha's teachings. It is supposed to symbolize a form of religious practice that leads to the alleviation of suffering and eventual liberation. It's described as a path that is in the middle between extremes.
We believe in reincarnation. If you do something good for yourself, you do good for your neighbor, your friend, you receive the good things. You want to be incarnation to be a person rather than be a dog, a cat, or any kind of other animals. In all, we want to be a good person and do right. So in real life, we have received a good thing, and then next life, if I happen to die, I want to come back to be a person.
One of the foundational teachings of the Buddha is impermanence. The Buddha is said to have taught that there is no permanent self. There is nothing about human existence that remains unchanged, that can last forever.
Enlightenment is when you practice and then you will know that, but no one can talk about the enlightenment.
It's very hard to get one's mind around what nirvana is. It's more of a condition rather than a place. So people don't go to nirvana as they might go to heaven. But it is a condition that is completely free from all ordinary sensory experience, including, most importantly, suffering or discomfort.
That religion really important for the human.
Because when I'm younger, you know, like you know, everybody else busy in your life doing, you know, working and trying to raise up your families. But then when we get older, you know, when you settle down, you know, then spiritual is your main goal. More important to me than go out there and get out there and work and make some money, or I want to look better than other, or challenge in different other ways. You know, after the day gone, after day work finished, I want to sit down, think about who am I, and what I believe.
There are different branches within the Sangha, but the two main branches that still exist today are described as Theravada Buddhism and Mahayana Buddhism. The religion then prescribes certain ways of acting in the world, certain kinds of practices that can help alleviate these kinds of problems that people encounter. While meditation is an important part of the tradition, Buddhists also recognize that meditation is difficult to do, and not everybody does it.
When you focus on meditation, you only think about present, right now, and who you look at. You focus at a Buddha, or at a flowers, or what you are here in the temple. Yes, but you don't think about whatever, what happened, or after I leave here, I'm going to go to the store and buy food, or, you know, or what I'm doing later, or yesterday who say what to me, and I'm still angry at them. Okay, so yes, you are real focused on what you are doing right now at this moment. That's what meditation is.
Giving is a more common practice than meditation when it comes to Buddhism, and that's probably has always been the case. Chanting also has an important part to play in many Buddhist communities. Oftentimes this revolves around chanting passages from Buddhist scriptures. One of the older misconceptions about Buddhism is that it is pessimistic or even nihilistic. It's more accurate to see the First Noble Truth as affirming that pain and pleasure are inseparable. You cannot just have pleasure without pain. But this understanding does not mean that Buddhists are pessimistic. And in fact, people who have encountered Buddhists on a personal level will, or I could say, can confirm that Buddhists are just as happy or even happier than people from other religious traditions.
And if you want to be treated good, you treat others just like you want to be treated.
Another important practice in Buddhism would have to do with what we could describe as moral restraint. So observing the precepts, which for a layperson in Buddhism involves refraining from taking life, refraining from stealing, refraining from sexual immorality, refraining from using false speech or lying, and then finally refraining from taking intoxicants. Buddhists are encouraged to adhere to these precepts as well as other kinds of moral discipline.
I believe in Buddha, and that's my religion. And yes, it's very important in my life because I want to practice. In other words, I can't be him, but I follow his step to be a good person, a good human being.